Hello,
I should look
friends.
at you, right?
No, you look in the
Look at
camera,
the
maybe.
camera.
Yes. Hello, friends. Greetings to all from the International Conference on Family Planning in Pattaya. I'm delighted to be today with my friend Tomoko Fukuda, Regional Director of International Planned Parenthood Federation for the East, Southeast Asia, and Oceania region, or what we call ECOR. Earlier, Tomoko has been advocacy manager of the Japanese Organization for International Cooperation in Family Planning. She is former Secretary General at Japan's CSO Network on Global Health and former advisory group member at Civil Society Engagement Mechanism for UHC 2030. Tomoko, what has been the progress on family planning and broadly on gender equality in your region?
Thank you, Shobha, for this opportunity to speak with you. I think there has been some great progresses, especially around family planning, gender equality, especially for married women. Let's say in the 1980s, 90s, in the early 2000s, a lot has progressed with governments investing a lot in their family planning, maternal and child health programs. And yes, we have made advancements in gender equality. Women are able to make more choices, but it has been limited more to married women, I say.
Okay, so what are the main challenges which are confronting family planning and other sexual and reproductive health and rights in this region?
Yeah, so as I said, I think we've made great advancements, especially towards family planning for married women in reproductive age. I think the challenge that we have with terms of sexual reproductive health and rights is about the diversity of where women come from. Uh, there are single women, there are young women, there are women with disabilities, there are women living in remote areas. There are a lot of different circumstances that surround women. And I think the main challenge that we have is in reaching all of these different diverse places that women reside in.
Or what about young people and their sexual and reproductive health and rights?
So with young people, I think the greatest challenge is being on rolling out comprehensive sexuality education, especially with out of school youth, in also inside the education classrooms. There's a strong still pushback around young people gaining knowledge around their sexual reproductive health and rights. And we've been pushing, in this digital area, there's abundant information around sexuality, sexual uh, matters of young people. So even as adults, if we want to prevent them from getting it, they will still get it no matter what. So we've been trying to say, it is our responsibility to provide the correct and right information and also start early so that they are able to protect themselves and make the right decisions as they grow. But this has been a great big challenge for us in the region.
Are some countries doing better on this issue than others?
Maybe, but
Yes.
I think, and we did do a study across Asia Pacific to see how comprehensive sexuality education is taken up with the formal education, what's happening outside the formal education, and we see a variety. But I think across it is still quite a bit of a challenge. Yes.
And what about older persons and their sexual health rights?
Yes. So in ESEAOR, and I am looking after East and Southeast
Yes.
Asia and Oceania region. So
Yes.
I have China, Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong on
Yes.
one end. I have the Pacific Island countries in the other. So we have a wide variety of countries. And yes, in countries like South Korea, Japan, China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia is close on their heels in terms of aging. So, sexual and reproductive health and rights is becoming more diverse, and it's not only about talking about fertility, also in terms of
Yes.
contraception, but also in terms of women who do want to get pregnant. How do we support their decision in that sense? Also, with the reproductive health and rights of women in the older generations as we menopause and also sexual health of when you're getting older. So there's a I think it's widening up the areas that we need to cover in terms of sexual reproductive health and rights.
Because very often, it is thought for women particularly, oh,
Mm.
if you are above 70 or so, then you don't have any sexual needs. That is the
Yes, yes,
that is
yes.
the general concept, which I think needs to
Hmm.
change. And
Yes, you're
yes,
right.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
What about any special challenges or regarding disability and sexual and reproductive health and
Yes.
rights?
So this is an area that has been long neglected and too much neglected.
Mm.
We're finally being able to bring a spotlight onto this area, whether you are challenged in different ways.
Yes.
Sexual and reproductive health and rights should be there
Right.
for you as well.
Mm.
Just for example,
Mm.
this is from the Planned Parenthood Association of Thailand. They
Okay.
have in Braille how
Mm.
to use condoms.
Okay.
So,
Great.
for
Yes.
blind people, how do they gain? And this
Right.
is just one example of a tool for
Mm.
blind people.
Mhm.
But yes, we are starting to do different kinds of things for the disabled peoples. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
What are the main issues you want ICFP to address, or what are you looking towards
Yeah,
to?
so I think with ICFP, we've been calling it family planning. Maybe it is time to kind of graduate from the term family planning because it's not just about families, right? It's about women's choice, women's rights to control her life. It is about young people, how to prevent themselves from STIs, HIV, prevent themselves from also from unplanned pregnancies. But it's all has to come under the rights of women and girls to lead a full and productive life. So I hope that this ICFP will kind of push us into that arena, look into what are the challenges, and also as we already approach 2030 with the
Yes.
SDGs, family planning is key and central to achieving the SDGs. I think it's the leveraging point. Whether you women can control their lives will affect gender equality, economic production, everything. It will affect all the SDGs role. So it is a key and central whether we address this issue correctly. It's key. Another issue we're seeing in this region is with people moving from countries to countries. We actually have a lot of migrant workers going from country to
Right.
country,
Right.
but when they reach another country, they're often not covered with health insurance. They are not able to access government health care. They are undocumented. So there are a lot of pockets in this region, countries in different stages of economic development, different challenges, but still, I think that makes us more and more attentive to the needs of the people. And I hope this conference will help us to highlight some of those.
Yes, for the welfare of all,
For the
particular
welfare
welfare
of
of
all,
all.
yes.
Yes. Many thanks to Moko for
Yes.
finding time for this conversation with
Mhm.
CNS, despite your super busy schedule and other glitches we have had. Friends, we were listening to Tomoko.